In programming, one of the most used statements is an if statement. This is because if statements can translate user input to events that vary depending on the input. This is important to programming, as this can make the things in program interactive, which is one of the main objectives of programming. So, I am going to try to make a game in Python without using a single if statement. To make this a little bit more challenging, I will limit myself to programming a game with under 50 lines of code, although I can still have researchers use the help of AI as sent to me. So for this, I am going to use Pygame Zero to program my game. This is because Pygame Zero is quite simple and even more beginner friendly than Pygame. Also, Pygame Zero has a built-in on-feed-down option, which will be useful in this challenge. The program will have the basic draw function, which is used for the graphics, and an update function, which is used in the class. So here, I will make my player actor with my image asset in their images folder. I'll also set up the height, width, and the title of the window of the game. In this window, I already have my player actor, which is a singular rectangle. But the size is too small, so I'll need to make it bigger. Now I'll add a simple gravity code that brings the player actor down. This code will be inside the update function so that it gets called every tick. The gravity code will simply change the Y position of the player without calculating the Y velocity. Next, I can add an on-feed-down function for checking if there are any keys spread. This will need to use an if statement for checking user input. The downside rule is that there can only be one movement that can be delivered by pressing any keyboard key. This function will be used to make the player jump so that the player doesn't fall off his stool. For the game, there will be this one simple player actor with just a rectangle. This player will constantly move downward because of the gravity in the gate, and pressing any keyboard key will make the player go up. There will be a limit at the top and at the bottom of the spin which the player can get past, or else the game will end. There won't be a sophisticated score system though, and the objective is just to survive the longness. After some researching, I have found a possible alternative I can use for this challenge, that being jump tables. Jump tables, from my understanding, is a little like if statements. The difference is that it uses functions for different inputs. So, I can use this free code and modify it to suit my game. I also use Mo Editor for this, as it will be easier to do the first task yet. In the Mo Editor, I can now test the jump tables with simple input commands. So now, if I click run, there will be a question: did I hit the wall? If I say yes, the result will print game over, and if I type no, it will say keep code. I then got an error. After failing to fix it myself, I tried using ChatGPT for help. After trying to implement some new mechanics, I encountered some key errors and pipe errors. After no luck in finding the solution in Stack Overflow at the time, I resorted to ChatGPT again. After fixing some more errors, I finally got a good result. Here, the game terminal will print 1 if the player is touching the bottom border, and the game will print -1 if not. I can then use these values for the input in the jump table to decide whether the player is touching the borders or not, so I can decide whether the game should end or not. Now, my code is working. Whenever the player touches the bottom border, the game will close because of the sys.exit command. But there's still an error, which happens when the player touches the top border, which will cause the game to crash. However, I got even more errors. This finally led me to using ChatGPT once more. After some bug fixing, I finally got the game to work. Whenever the player touches the either border, the game will automatically close. When this happens, the terminal will also show the message "Game Over." After a few days of coding and researching, I have finally completed my game. This game is made without a single if statement and was a total of 37 lines of code. So this is my finished game. Throughout the process, I have used a lot of help from the internet. From this project, I can conclude that there are many alternatives to if statements, this including jump tables. This can be useful as some alternatives are better in certain conditions than if statements themselves. So that's it for my challenge. Thank you for watching.